talking about solving multi-step absolute value inequalities. And the reason I say multi-step is because this absolute value is not by itself yet. And the only way to solve for an absolute value inequality is by having absolute value by itself. So you're going to solve this pretty much the exact same way that you would if we didn't have this inequality and it was an equal sign. So hopefully by now you've solved absolute value equations with an equal sign, which told you that you needed to A, make two equations, and B, find two answers. So we're going to do the exact same thing here, except we're using an inequality sign. Now we talked about earlier that the only way we can tell the difference between and or compound inequalities is if our absolute value is greater, it's or, and if our absolute value is less, then it's and. So we look at our inequality here. Our absolute value, which is on this side, is being eaten by the alligator mouth, or that means our absolute value is greater, so it's or. So the first thing we have to do is we need to make sure we get this absolute value by itself. We're going to pretend like this absolute value is a variable. So if we were to write the same equation, but the absolute value was a variable, we would write it as 4x minus 5 plus 1 is greater than 21. Our whole goal here would be we would want to get our x by itself. So that's exactly what we're doing here. Here's our x, we need to get x by itself. So we got to subtract that 1. We now have 4 times the absolute value of 2x minus 5 is greater than, and 21 minus 1 is 20. Okay, the final step is we have to make sure this absolute value is by itself. Right now it's not, there's a 4 here. Now your instinct may be, I want to distribute that 4. With an absolute value, it's a lot easier if we just get rid of the 4. And by getting rid of the 4 is all we have to do is divide by 4. When we divide by 4, that cancels. We're left with the absolute value of 2x minus 5 is greater than 20 divided by 4 is 5. So now this is our absolute value inequality that we are going to solve from. Now we discussed earlier that our sign makes it an or instead of an and inequality. So that means we have to write two different equations. So the first equation, we can literally copy and paste what we have. We have 2x minus 5 is greater than 5. Our second equation, we just copy down our absolute value. So 2x minus 5, so we'll write it over here. 2x minus 5. We need to flip our sign to the opposite, and we need to change that negative, or that positive 5 to the opposite. So the opposite of a positive 5 is a negative 5. Okay, now we solve both equations individually. The one on the left, our original equation, all we have to do to get x by itself is we need to add 5 to both sides, which cancels that out. We have 2x is greater than 5 plus 5 is 10. Now to get x by itself, we have to divide by 2. And we are left with x is greater than 5. That is one of our answers. Now we need to find our second answer. We do the exact same thing. We have to get rid of that negative 5 by adding, which cancels this out, and negative 5 plus 5 also cancels itself out and turns into 0. So we have 2x is less than 0. Now, all we have to do is divide by 2 again. 0 divided by 2 is 0, so x is less than 0. So, our final answer, and yes, I'm going to make you write a final answer, I'll put it in red, is x is greater than 5, or x is less than 0. Okay, we're going to move on. I'm going to go ahead and have you guys try this one on your own. So go ahead and pause the video, and then we'll go over it together. Okay, so hopefully you've already solved this on your own. And we've identified first that this is an OR compound inequality. We have to get this absolute value by itself. That means we need to add 7 to both sides. So now we have 3 times the absolute value of D plus 1 is greater than or equal to negative 1 plus 7 is a 6. Now, in order to get our absolute value by itself, we need to divide by 3. So now we have the absolute value of D plus 1 is greater than or equal to 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now, there is other ways to solve this, but I promise you, getting the absolute value by itself first is so much easier every single time. Now, again, we've identified that it's an OR based on the sign. So we need to write our 2 different equations. First equation, we're going to copy and paste what we have. We have D plus 1 is greater than or equal to 2. Our second equation that we're going to write is we're going to copy our absolute value of D plus 1. We have to flip our sign and change our 2 to the opposite, which is a negative 2. Now, we solve both equations. The one on the left, to get D by itself, we need to subtract 1. We have D is greater than or equal to 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, on the right hand side, we need to subtract our 1 again. We have D is less than or equal to a negative 3. I need you to write your final answer. We know it's an OR compound inequality, so we need to write D is greater than or equal to 1, or D is less than or equal to a negative 3. Make sure you check to make sure you got your answer right. If you did not get it right, go ahead and fix it, identify where you messed up, because math is all about mistakes. And in algebra, if you're not making mistakes, I'd be shocked. So make sure you fix your mistakes, because if you fix them now, by the time we take our test, you're going to be able to identify those mistakes before you submit your test.